So thank you so much. Right. So I think first things first. Let's first things first. Let's talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is an interesting one. Is that so? I mean, it's bombing, obviously, obviously, but it's interesting for a few reasons. Because for me, I had actually heard good things from a reliable source that had worked on the film directly, and they'd also worked on Evil Dead Rise directly. And I liked Evil Dead Rise, and they said very similar things. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this would be good then. And oh my God, it's been just torn apart. And when I say torn apart, just to clarify, ladies and gents in the chat, it's mixed. But anything other than incredibly positive is being torn apart in the case of this film because they spent so much fucking money on it. So much money, obscene sums of money, $350+ million. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? So what I mean, what's your sort of take on this? What's your thoughts in general on this movie? And we'll take a look and have a prod and a laugh at some of the reviews because they are hilarious.
I think that this is it's all rests at the feet of Kathleen Kennedy. I think that she is doing what she does to the legacy characters when she takes over these new properties. And even though there aren't as many reviews yet, they are from the top critics or all the way down. It's ranked lower than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
God damn. That's when you've messed up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's Raiders, The Last Crusade, and Temple of Doom. And that's the trilogy for me.
Temple of Doom as well. Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Well, it actually ranks lower by the critics than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull does. But for me, it's much higher. I enjoyed that.
Temple of Doom does.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Temple of Doom is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I agree. The best part is when he's coming across the bridge there. And I love that scene. But his gun, didn't have his gun on him. So I think that might have been when we started seeing the shills come out, because that movie's pretty much indefensible also.
Yeah.
I noticed that this was at 33% a few days ago. The new movie, and the shills have come in with their positive reviews and bumped it up to a solid 49%.
Well, now it's at 50.
Okay, well they're pushing
38. It. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, Rotten Tomatoes has a history of playing silly buggers.
Yeah,
when it comes to Disney products, and I've said this before. It was literally a Marvel movie that made Rotten Tomatoes. Well, that instigated Rotten Tomatoes' change of their process. It was Captain Marvel.
That's right.
And I can believe they're going to do something again with this. I can absolutely believe it, because again, you got your screenshot here, because it's your article. You got 37 reviews, and just with one more, I mean, it's straight up a whole percentage up to 50.
That's right. And wait till they release it. The audience score they're gonna make it as high as they possibly can.
Well, so Peter Pan and Wendy, they removed a whole bunch of scores recently. They just obliterated. I think it was over 5,000 audience scores just gone overnight. I mean, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And
it's like Rotten Tomatoes has no integrity, because we know they're gaming the system. We know they are, and we know they're doing it on Disney's behalf. But it's really sort of the only game in town except for Metacritic, right?
Yeah, so Metacritic. I mean, even IMDb, you can't trust IMDb, because that's Amazon, and they were changing everything with respect to Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Yeah, they weren't sharing the reviews at that point. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, your article, why else would they refuse to release their $350+ million film to the public 6 weeks before its June 30th theatrical release? That was foolish, as is the case with everything Kathleen Kennedy and Disney does. I think it's amazing how someone can screw up so consistently and monumentally as well. and just
Maybe it's
no
blackmail. I don't
repercussion.
know. She has
Yeah,
to know something on somebody. That's the only thing that explains it, or it's
oh,
just
it's,
pure
yeah, God.
ignorance.
I just, for me, it never makes any sense. It never made any sense why they spent so much money on this movie anyway.
Right. Well, I
Because
think reshoots had to be.
yeah, and also CGI. Because,
Hmm.
but the thing is, you wouldn't make the movie to begin with, right? You just wouldn't, because at the end of the day, this has to make like Avatar money.
Yeah,
You know, it has
850
to
or
make
something, 900.
a, billion. It
Yeah,
has to cross that
they
sort
would
of
be
mark.
happy with a billion. That's right.
I just,
I think if they got a billion, they might restart that TV show that they had planned, because there was word that they were going to do a new Indiana Jones TV show on Disney Plus, and there was word that it was going to
yeah.
be Phoebe in that
Oh,
ongoing television role, and that got canned.
fucking hell.
Can you believe it? This is the
That
same woman that made James Bond a simp who died in the last movie. What a train wreck!
I hate that movie so much. It was crap.
I hated it too.
Absolutely,
I hated it
absolutely
too. I wish
terrible.
I'd never watched it.
Well, unfortunately, I have to, and I'm sure
I know.
a
Sure,
certain
me
element of
too.
what you
Yep.
have to as well.
But I
But
mean, I'm a James Bond fan, right? I would have wanted to watch
yeah,
it even if I didn't have the website, and I was
well,
disappointed.
it's amazing to go from Mads Mikkelsen, that Casino Royale
Casino
film,
Royale, yeah.
to then that.
There's a very
What?
good fan edit, by the way, of the first four Daniel Craig movies, and they've edited it into a Netflix 10-episode series. So each
Ah,
episode is like 45 to 55 minutes long, and it's got a neat little
yeah,
intro every
yeah.
time. It's really sharp. I recommend
Ah,
any of your viewers look for that. It's out there.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, goodness me. 76, 77. How did the critics not like Temple of Doom as
Temple.
much as
Well,
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Temple.
It's probably all the cultural elements that they perceive to be massively racist or something like
No,
that. It's
no,
got to
no.
be
Back
that, isn't
then,
it?
that was 84. They didn't care. I think it was because it was so violent, and that was the movie that created the PG-13 rating, I think.
That was the point of it, though.
I know. No, I agree.
Honestly, hearts being removed by not removing them.
Yeah. Well, it was probably a little scary for
Oh,
some of those underage 12 toddlers,
well,
youngsters. Oh, well. It was a funny
So,
movie.
it's a great movie, absolutely great movie. So yeah, so let's sort of have a look at what some of the critics are saying, and then
Yeah.
guys, we'll pick up your super chats in a minute. So if you want to join in, again, super chats are the way to do it. So it is mixed, right? And that's really important to note. It is absolutely mixed, but they are not going to be happy with that. And it's context matters in something like this. To say, well, it's 50%. That's not horrendous. It is if you spent $350 million on it. That's awful. Like that's
But
truly
now, Nate, look at
terrible.
the good reviews too. That one at the
Oh yeah, not
bottom.
very good.
It's nagging. There could be a much better Indiana
Yeah,
Jones film buried in here, and that's a positive review. Boy, they're doing their best.
uh, yeah, well, exactly. Like, what do you say? I'm speechless. Like, what do you even say to something like that? Like, you can't even respond. It speaks for itself, doesn't it? At that point,
Yeah. It's a shame.
oh my
It's really a
god,
shame. It's a shame
damn.
because, yeah, there could have been a better movie. I think if you think about the original trilogy, all of them, he was searching for like a religious artifact. The
Yeah.
bookends are biblical, and the middle one is sort of this culture's, these
Mm.
tribes thing. And it's this religious artifact. And I think they got away with that with Crystal Skull. They did the aliens, science fiction.
Mm.
And I think they just didn't know anywhere else to go. And you have Hollywood is run by so many virulent atheists. The last thing they would do is go to another biblical artifact, right?
But
And
there's
I think
something.
they kind of cornered themselves to do something stupid like time travel. And it's time travel. I mean, if you dig into some of these
Yeah.
reviews, they travel through time in the third act. I hope you don't get a copyright claim for that reveal, but it's out there.
No, they're not as bad as Legendary.
Okay.
God damn, reminded me of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it. The thing is, there's something interesting and compelling about exploring religion as if as if it was accepted as a norm and the artifacts were there and it was true.
Right,
Like the sort
right.
of you questioning faith on a realistic, tangible level is interesting and compelling, and it in terms of Indiana Jones, it was always interesting and compelling because it was something which the Nazis actually did, right?
Exactly.
Like they
Yeah,
actually did that. They
yeah.
actually hunted for these things. They actually went about trying to find these things. So that is, it's a truly interesting element of looking at real life and going, well, what if they were actually successful? Or what if they were almost successful, but someone from our side managed to get there first? That's really interesting.
Oh, it's
That's a
clever. Yeah.
compelling narrative
Hmm.
to look at something which was lost to time as myth and legend. Because you go speak to a 19-year-old pleb now and you go, do you know what the Nazis did? They actually did. They go, fuck off, you don't know what you're talking about. You go, no, they actually did.
Oh
they
yeah.
don't they don't think it's true. So it's lost to time as myth and legend, and then reincorporating it as well, this is what happened, and
Yeah.
this is a guy from our side. It's just creative bankruptcy as well.
Yeah, it
It's
feels like
such a
something like a
shame.
national treasure hunt or something. They could have even gone with something like Atlantis or
Yeah.
something that is an existing legend in our history of mankind. It didn't have
Yeah.
to be biblical, but I know what you're saying. I like it, and I think Spear of Destiny. I know that Hitler was looking for that.
Mm.
There's all kinds of artifacts that they could have continued, sort of an ongoing. And I think the comic books and some of the novels did that. I'm sure there's some good
Mm.
material out there that I'm not familiar with, and I encourage Indiana Jones fans to seek that out and the
Well, I see.
Blu-ray versions of the trilogy.
Yeah, yeah. I never massively even hated the young Indiana Jones. I thought
Right.
that even has its has its place. It's not utterly atrocious.
Hmm.
Certainly not as bad as what this is going to inevitably be.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a shame.
yeah. Again, it's all pretty goofy, laborious over its 142 minutes. And this is the other thing. And I say this about films all the time. You got a movie that's like, I like a long movie. I genuinely appreciate a long movie when it earns its runtime. 2 hours, 24 minutes. Holy shit. That
Hmm.
has to be a good movie.
Hmm.
It really has to be a good movie because that's a long time. It has to be a good movie on multiple levels because one, in a 90-minute runtime, you can show how many ever many movies showings in a day, much more than you can a movie that's 2.5 hours. So that's an issue because you're narrowing your band of profit margins on a daily basis because you physically can't show that many screenings because
Sure.
it's too long. So it has to be good on that basis because then the people that can't get into the showings that are available, want to come back to another one, and good word of mouth propels it that way. But then also, who the hell wants to sit there for 2.5 hours when it's garbage? Because that's the first thing they'll come out and go, God, that was long and shit. And that's the
Yeah.
stuff that people will be, hearing about straight away.
Yeah.
Just
There's 2 hours and 20 minutes I'll never get back. That's what they're going to be saying when they
yes,
walk out.
yes,
And
yeah,
you
exactly
know, you
that.
speak about the business side of it. You can do more showings in a day, and that probably did more to sometimes make better movies. I know Kingdom of Heaven is a movie
Absolutely
that the
does.
longer version is better, right? So there
Mm,
are longer cuts that are better. But the way James Mangold defended this before it came out, you would have thought that he had something really compelling. But there are critics on here that I really
yeah.
respect that didn't like it, and we've seen so much of it, Nate, that a lot of this rings true. The good reviews are poor. The shills like
Mm,
Collider, who you've got on the screen there, and Slash Film,
yeah.
oh, they eat it up. But they're access media, right? They want Disney to give them the early shows. They're like a Grace
Exactly.
Randolph type of person, and I'm surprised she hasn't gotten
So
a review yet.
I think we'll have a look. I think she might have done.
I think right now
Um,
she's still on the Little Mermaid campaign. She's really
with
pushing that.
a
If you don't like it, you're an istophobe or something.
with an incredibly racist comparison of interspecies
Yeah,
with interracial relationships. I could not fucking believe that.
I
Oh
can't
my
believe it
god,
either. It's
speechless.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
God, that is someone with nothing between her noggin. Like, there's nothing there at all. But I mean,
I used to like
even
her. I used to
Collider.
like her. I have to admit, you know, she was
Oh
sort of
no.
a my secret, not crush, but sort of a guilty pleasure to watch her because she has this really neat Jersey, New York accent. And she seemed to like a
Oh,
lot of the same
God.
things I did back when the original Marvel movies were coming out, you know, Iron Man and Winter Soldier and stuff like that. Back when it was good, I agreed with her. But boy, she's been on a tear lately, and I just can't agree with anything. She hated Super Mario Brothers, and she loves, well, I don't want to sit and razz on her the whole time.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting you talk about Collider, right? Because even them as Access Media, even
Well, yeah.
even they, even in their B minus score, it's shit. It's a
Yep.
vast step up from the muddled mess of Crystal Skull, and while it's not perfect with its uneven storytelling,
Hmm.
it's not a bad end for our favorite archaeologist. Oh, it's not a bad end, but it's not perfect, and it's got uneven, muddled storytelling. What? I mean, for goodness sake! Like even it's not.
That's
That's not B
fresh.
minus material, is it?
No, that's
It's not.
fresh. That's fresh now. That's fresh.
Fucking hell! Goodness me! But that's the thing. A lot of people say it's an improvement on Crystal Skull. I mean, Christ,
Oh, wait, go down to
that's
Lex from
the
Slash Film. That's the one. Whoa, don't pass him up. You just passed Slash Film. Go back to that, just above it.
this one. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a bold, bright, and blazingly fun reunion with our
Yeah.
favorite hero.
Oh my gosh. What a shit.
Wow,
Oh,
wow, wow, wow.
Lex needs his Little Mermaid tickets right now.
Oh goodness me! Yeah, the interesting thing is like so I still get invites to press screenings and stuff,
Yeah.
and I get them fairly often, and you know I've interviewed directors and things like that, right? But I never it never did anything in terms of like whether it would help the channel out or anything like that,
Right.
and I found myself to become very much removed from the general audience at that point as well, because you're not getting a sense of what everyone else feels and the sort of the atmosphere of a general audience. And it really matters when you're going to go watch a movie to be immersed in what the general populace thinks of a movie. It can help your perspective of films, because I think you can become really tunneled in on this stuff. I mean, a lot of these people as well, you know, they do it simply because they want access, but some of them are trapped in that hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're trapped. They get invites, they go to them, and they're just around other stuffy ass critics. And so, you know, in the case of Super Mario, for instance, and along with Grace Randolph, she even documented where she went. I was in the basement of an AMC theater, but we did have snacks. And, you know, and she's like with 30 other critics, and there was only 3 laughing, and they're idiots. It's like, no, Grace, you're the idiot that you weren't laughing. Because the general audience, if you were the 30 in a room of 300 and everyone else is laughing, you'd feel like the fucking idiots at that point.
That's
You know,
right.
it really matters because you can get out of this tunnel vision to go, you know, watching a movie just with critics, it's not good. Not good at all.
No, that's a good point too. I think if you are hobnobbing with other critics and sort of behind the scenes, there's a certain closeness that's afforded to you where you're a little
Mm,
more invested in the success of that movie, right? You're an
yeah.
insider, just sort of like you would root for a concert act that you were able to go backstage for and hang out with
Mm,
those people. You know what I mean? Or if you're on the
yeah.
set of a movie, if the movie turns out not to be that good, you may still have a certain affectation for that movie because you were there behind the scenes and you were hopeful at one time that it would do well, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these critics also have a lot of sensibilities where they are all about diversity, inclusion, et cetera, et cetera. And if a movie scratches that itch, they're automatically rooting for it more. So they're going to be a little kinder to it when they critique it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's a good point.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I can you see this film being a success? Because there's no way in hell I can see it being a success. I think
No,
this will
I think
lose
it's going to top out at about
hundreds of millions of
600.
dollars.
I think it'll hit about 600. I think it will be hailed as a nice end for Harrison Ford. And I'm assuming Disney's going to put out a box set of all 5
Yeah,
movies. They
probably.
have to.
I thought they released something recently, didn't they? Or was that them just streaming it on Disney Plus or
Yeah,
something
well,
like
they're
that?
streaming all the original movies on. Also, Paramount Plus has all 3 of the original. Actually, maybe all 4. They're both. It's kind of a weird arrangement where
Hmm.
they've got both channels, both platforms are streaming all the movies right now.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, the whole streaming industry is in it's kind of a shifting sand situation. I don't think they've been able to make it as profitable as they had hoped. And honestly, I never thought they would.
No, I know. Well, don't want to get too off topic because that's actually
No,
one of
right.
our other things. But
Okay.
I've never said it was the next thing. Everyone banging on about it in COVID and stuff. I was like, mate, don't hold your breath. They
Yeah,
will never earn the money that they do from box office.
it's
It will never
impossible.
be a thing.
No.
It will never, ever, ever be a thing. And people are like, you're wrong. I'm not. I'm fucking not. And lo and behold, I was not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
You know, that's not to say streaming doesn't have its place, by the way, guys. Of
Agreed.
course it has its place, but you can't fund billions into streaming and then expect a return because there is no return on that. It's just not possible. But yeah, so just to round up this, I see this losing hundreds of millions of dollars for Lucasfilm. And if this is not the nail in the coffin for Kathleen Kennedy, I think we can safely say she has dirt on someone at that point.
She knows where the bodies are buried. That's exactly right. That's
God,
exactly. How much do you think it's going to earn? How much do you think it's going to gross worldwide?
Well, so this is the interesting thing, right? Because Crystal Skull, because I did a breakdown of this before when they were revealing the numbers. Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull, box office. Because I was amazed. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did a surprisingly high amount, actually, $790 million. But that's the last entry we've had, and people fucking hated it. So that's important to note. We hadn't had an Indiana Jones movie for a long time.
That's right.
Much like, you know, The Force Awakens or whatever. We hadn't had one for a really long time. They come back with that and you're like, yeah. And then everyone's like, ooh, oh, that's not good. Even South Park parodied it, right?
Yeah.
So
I've never watched it again. I've never watched it again. That's the thing, is these movies are timeless. The original trilogy is timeless. You can watch it.
Put it on whenever.
Kathleen Kennedy can't make anything timeless.
Yeah. So taking that into account and people's disdain for a lot of useless cinema, because I think audiences are much more savvy now. They've become savvier, and you know, they're being very, very selective on where they're spending their money. A lot of the box office receipts show that. It's not like it was 5-10 years ago where box office was booming. It's a completely different landscape. You said 600, didn't you? $600 million.
It's 650 at the top, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it'll break 700 at all. I think it will really struggle to do that. I think 650. I think 650 is probably a good estimate. Yeah.
That means they lost. That means they lost, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Maybe at a push, it'll just creep close to the 700, but I can't see it doing very, very well.
Either.
But we will wait to see. But I can't see it doing particularly well at all.
Maybe we'll see it, and maybe we'll love it, Nate. Maybe.
Well, that is the thing, right? Like, you know, because a lot of people are like, well, you know, whenever critics' scores come out, people go, oh, well, normally you say whatever the critics do the opposite, etc. But this is different. They're very mixed, right? They're very, very mixed, and that's you know, we're not saying that the critics are wrong or they're right. It's looking at the general things and what people are saying as bad, and kind of looking at it from that perspective as, oh, well, I can, you know, that negative resonates with me generally as an audience member.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the potential we'll like it. Unlikely though. From everything I've seen.
Agreed. No, I concur 100%. Yeah, it's very unlikely.
Oh dear.